I watched American Nightmare.
Yeah, I watched that probably last weekend.
It's a lot to unpack because, it's one thing when you're lying and no one believes you. And it's another thing when you're telling the truth and no one believes you. In the beginning, the way they created the documentary, or the way they made the documentary, he comes out initially, I don't believe him. I don't believe him, but I do believe him. It's kind of like it leaves room for speculation.
It looked a little wishy-washy. Yeah,
right.
It did.
So that happens. So for me, when that happens with him, I'm just kind of like, all right. But for me, I'm just kind of like, as a cop, you got to look at it from both sides of the fence.
Yeah. I don't think he gave the cops any reason for them to doubt him.
No.
I will say that.
And seeing him in the interrogation room, it kind of fucks me up because the way they treated him, especially as a white man, just imagine how they treat us.
Yeah.
And also the tactics that they use to make you tell on yourself.
To make you tell on yourself.
To make, not even like, I wouldn't say telling yourself, to make you confess to something that you didn't do.
Absolutely. They break you down. It's low-key torture, bro.
It is. They keep you up for hours. They keep asking you the same questions over and over and over again to see if you're going to fuck up. As soon as you say one thing wrong, they're going to use that against you. But you said this.
Spun it.
But you said that.
Yep.
But they tortured this man.
They did.
They kept him in the room forever.
I think over like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe even like closer to 12 hours.
I think it was like about 12 hours.
Yeah.
Didn't feed him. Kept him awake. Kept him asking questions and questions over and over again. And it was kind of like, yo, bro, like.
Made him take a lie detector test.
Take a lie detector test. And then didn't even get the results of the lie detector test. And it was like, the guy he flung the thing. He was like, I know you felt this.
Yeah.
So just tell us the truth.
That shit is crazy. They had nothing to say he failed it like the dude was slicing it to be.
No.
That shit was that part really blew my mind.
You know what I mean? And this should go to show you guys, like, especially if you're telling the truth, especially if you're innocent, if this shit starts happening to you, just ask for your lawyer.
Just ask for your lawyer.
As soon as he asked for the lawyer,
everything switched.
Everything was like, all right. He started packing it up. He started shaking his head. He was like, fuck.
But that wasn't until like hour 10.
Yeah.
Hour 9.
Because he was kind of like, yo, listen, man. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all the truth. They took my girl.
Yeah. They took my girl.
My fiance, I believe.
Yeah.
They took my fiance, and I'm telling y'all the truth, and y'all don't believe shit.
Yeah.
So it was to me, it was wild, man. It was wild how that all played out. I mean, so
yeah, man. Without spoiling it too much for y'all, go watch it for sure. But they took the girl, they take her, she's captive. They eventually release her, and they did some wild stuff to her while she was captive. I don't really know. They did some wild stuff to her.
I mean, I'll say it. While she was captive, she got raped.
Yeah.
She was raped. And that part fucked me up.
It fucked me up.
I think it fucked everyone up.
Yeah.
And not only for me, if it fucks up women also out there because
it's mad triggering.
And it sheds a light on how our justice system handles these things. And it sheds a light on what women have to go through.
Yep.
It's really sad. And I've had a friend who was raped before, and I remember,
I think we all have at least one.
Yeah. And it's sad.
It is crazy.
It's sad that when you go to someone and be like, oh yeah, I know someone that was raped, and they go, yeah, me too.
Yeah. I recently heard a saying that every woman knows someone who's been raped and every male doesn't know a rapist.
Right.
Which, that's crazy.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Which is wild. So for me, I remember her coming to me and telling me, like, hey, I was raped.
Yeah.
And hearing that phone call and knowing that someone that you care about, that's your friend, and you're kind of like you're angry, and you're like the first thing you do, and as a society we've been taught and raised to, when something bad happens, the first thing you do, you go to the police.
Yeah,
that's the first thing you do
to protect and serve you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I go to her and I'm so angry and so upset, and I go to her like, yo, call the cops, like tell the cops, and she looks at me and she goes, they're not going to do anything. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, all they're going to do is make me feel bad and put this on me and ask me, what did I do? What was I wearing? Oh, did I ask for this? Or where was I at? Did you provoke this to happen? Did you say stop? Did you fight back? You don't know? And for me, it was just kind of like, what? And I didn't, like, not to say I didn't believe her, like, you know, cops would really act like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just kind of like, nah, that doesn't, I mean, like, because I've never been in that position before, so I don't know how that works. So for me, I was just kind of like, nah, I'd still go to the cops. She was like, yo, nah, Steve. And at the end of the day, it's actually going to be more humiliating for me.
Yeah.
When you think about it, because it's like, now it becomes public knowledge. Mm-hmm. My name's going to get smeared everywhere, and they're going to use this against me and all this stuff. And I was just kind of like, nah, fuck that. Who cares? Like, this, like, you deserve this. You deserve justice. You deserve, you know, this person deserves to go to jail. And she was just kind of like, nah, I'm just going to live with it. And it's kind of like,
imagine that weight, man.
You're going to live with this? And it's really, and at the same time, it's heartbreaking for me, but it's so courageous as a person, because it's kind of like you're being violated and someone's taking a part of you.
Yeah.
They're taking a piece of you.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like you're courageous enough to be like, you know what? I'm going to deal with this, and I'm going to move on with my life. And you know, and there's plenty of women who go through that, and it's kind of like, yo, damn, like,
that shit fucks me up, man.
It fucks me up, and it's fucking sad, man. And you know,
it's really sad.
We need to do a better job of protecting our women.
Yeah.
And shame on the justice system, man.